I just want to mention just the last moment. I said this over last night by in our last little bit of Yom Tov together, but I think it bears repetition. Just to finish off the show, we'll stop at the 2 dots today. And I will say the top of today's daf, the top of Nun Zayin, which Rabbi Richter gave a beautiful shir yesterday. He covered in yesterday's shir, quoted Rabbi Akiva. I will say and. Rabbi Akiva, the whole machlokes of Es Hashem Elokecha Tira, Fear Hashem, Shimon Ha'am Sunni, still didn't know how to darshan the S. Rabbi Akiva darshan the S to include Talmidei Chachamim. Whole machlokes there. I would say it was very striking. I mentioned this yesterday. That very striking that in yesterday's daf, a day of such sadness. On one hand, such simcha because it was Yom Tov for us, but such sadness. We quoted Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yitzchak Berditchev Zechusa Yagin Alinu quotes in the beginning of Parshas Noach that Rabbi Akiva was a Gilgul of Moshe Rabbeinu. I felt it was such an amazing thing that on the day that we said goodbye to Moshe Rabbeinu, because really Simchas Torah, as beautiful as it is, there's an element of pain of saying goodbye to Moshe Rabbeinu. That on the day that we said goodbye to Moshe Rabbeinu, we have Rabbi Akiva, who's the Gilgul of Moshe Rabbeinu. And what was the gadlus of Rabbi Akiva? The gadlus of Rabbi Akiva was Akiva Nichamtanu. Rabbi Akiva was always the one who brought Nechama. Rabbi Akiva was always the one who maintained a constant sense of optimism and a constant belief in the nitzchias of Klal Yisrael. As Rabbi Akiva himself was being tortured to death by the Romans, he instilled everyone around him with a sense of optimism and a sense of hope. And Chevra, it is not an accident that the Ribono Shel Olam gave us a Rabbi Akiva on Simchas Torah. It is not an accident. Now let's say we feel so broken and we feel so overwhelmed and each of us feels so sad. And I will say, sometimes we think like our hishtadlus is to keep checking our phones and like see what's happening on the news. We must remain in the know about what's going on. I will say, don't use your time during these heartbreaking days to check the news ticker. That is not going to move the needle for Klal Yisrael at all. One more story, one less story. That's not what you're doing for Klal Yisrael. Now let's say Rabbi Akiva teaches us that first of all, Klal Yisrael will always survive, and Klal Yisrael will always thrive, and this will forever be a dark chapter within our people's history. I think we know that Shmini Atzeres will never be the same for Klal Yisrael. There is now a tragedy, a massacre that is associated with this day in the ongoing consciousness of Klal Yisrael. But Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. In the midst of all of this, I will say, we always have to maintain a constant sense of optimism. And we cannot lose ourselves in the black hole of despair. The coming days, and maybe even the coming weeks, we'll see funerals, we'll see levayas, and we don't know where this journey is going to go. We don't know how it's going, but one thing we do know is that Klal Yisrael always prevails. Klal Yisrael always prevails. And as I mentioned as I started this year, each of us has the opportunity to do our part in advancing the collective agenda. Hasim Meir sent me a message because I messaged him last night. He's delivering food to soldiers everywhere. He's just delivering food. He's delivering receipt. The difference is in Eretz Yisrael, you could do something biyadayim. You could do something biyadayim to actively help. We're going to find ways to do things also. Rabbi say, just understand. I learn Torah, I'm doing something. I daven with kavana, I'm doing something. I give tzedakah, I'm doing something. I do a chesed for another Jew, I'm doing something. We could help out in the efforts of Klal Yisrael as well. We cannot, like Rabbi Akiva whispers in our ears, do not lose yourself to despair. We can't shuffle around, eyes cast downward with a black cloud. There is a black cloud hovering over us. But you know what the incredible part is? That black cloud will dissipate. That black cloud will give way to most magnificent and incredible sunshine. And once again, we will bask in the rays of a victorious, luminescent, spiritually strong Klal Yisrael. That's why Rabbi Akiva was with us on Simchas Torah, and it's that chizuk that guides us, Rabbi Osai, in the days and in the weeks and in the months ahead. Klal Yisrael has always been strong, and Klal Yisrael will always be strong. We have to get ourselves together. We have to roll up our sleeves. We have to start producing for our people and for our nation. Each of us, in small ways and big ways, Rabbi Osai, could move the needle for Klal Yisrael. Kodesh Baruch Hu should just give us the chizuk. Give us, the Jews of the diaspora, chizuk. Certainly give Acheinu b'nei Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael the chizuk as well. And Halavai Rabbi Osai, we should be zocha to see beautiful days of bracha ahead.